22 Brew, where you can have an ice cream and watch football.
Or you have a coffee and watch volleyball.
Family owned, alumni owned, 22 Brew.
Go Eagles!
Logan County Glass on Highway 22 in Paris. See them for all your glass and mirror needs, whether it's automobile, shower enclosure, windows, or commercial. Logan County Glass in Paris.
At Autoplex Collision Repair, we understand that unexpected accidents can leave you financially stressed. That's why we offer Repair Now, Pay Later. Start your repairs today and spread the payments over time. Visit fixrex.com to learn more.
Thank you for joining us for the Lady Eagle Volleyball Coaches Show, brought to you by Logan County Glass and Mirror. Join us again next week when Coach Jerry Fulmer brings us more information and updates about Paris Lady Eagle Volleyball.
We are joined by the head coach of Lady Eagles volleyball team, Jerry Fulmer, here on this pretty brisk morning here. Tuesday, September 9th. Last time we talked, Coach, it was a little less than a week ago, last Wednesday. You were only 2 games into the season, young season, with games against 5A West opponents, Russellville and Farmington. A couple of tough losses in that one. You had another 5A West opponent the very next day after we talked in Van Buren, and then there's been a lot of volleyball since then. Saturday, went to Cabot, right, for Spike Fest, an eventful day. And then last night, a game against a quality 3A opponent in Mayflower. Just to recap and talk about all the volleyball that's happened since we last talked.
Well, at Van Buren, we still hadn't got things put together. It's still part of the process. And again, it's at 5A, and they were huge. You know, they had a big middle and a big block, and that's still things that we need to go against and work forward for the state tournament. But we just couldn't keep it clean enough. We did see signs of improvement in some areas. And then we went to Spike Fest, and again, we play a 5A team, very good. Valley View is just awesome. We played North Little Rock, which is a 6A school, and we actually beat the 6A school. So, you know, that was a good start. We played North Little Rock first thing, and, of course, they wasn't as technically as sound as some of the other teams, and we were able to capitalize on that. We kind of got rolling a little bit there, and then we ran into Valley View, and boy, did they show us how to play volleyball the first set. And then the second set, we decided to turn it on and step it up. But during that set, I told them, there's our formula. The reason why we was actually up 24 to 23, 22, something like that. We were up on a very, very good Valley View team, and our formula was feed the ball to your outside hitters and let them terminate. And, you know, we did a bunch of that. And so that's what got us going. And then we couldn't get to even pull that set out. But, again, they're very good quality opponent there. Third set, battle them. And then we went into bracket play and had to play Mount St. Mary's. And can you imagine who was in the finals of the tournament down there? Mount St. Mary's and Valley View. So we go down there, and our schedule, just like this year with Farmington and Van Buren, some of these other schools, I didn't realize how tough they were. We're just playing a super, super tough schedule. I mean, the 2 teams that were in the finals we had to play against, and, you know, we was battling them 24 to something, you know. And then Mount St. Mary's beat us 26-24. You know, we're really right there with them, and I feel like at times we're starting to put things together. But, you know, the formula is easy to see for us with Ashton and Rowan hitting. But the thing is not so easy to see is all the other areas of the game. And that's what we've really been struggling with up this early part of the season, is our defensive positioning and getting digs and limiting our shank balls and limiting our missed serves and just limiting our hitting errors and the communication on the floor and covering corners. It's all the things that's maybe more difficult to see, because at Spike Fest, I can't tell you how many coaches I talked to when they seen us said, wow, the first thing I bet 5 or 6 got one great hitters there. I think they're off and sound, Coach. That's okay.
We will be in a second.
I don't know what I did. Did I do something? Come on right there.
There we go.
We've been right there.
A couple of technical difficulties, but we got that fixed.
Are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
And, so it's easy to see the formula that makes us a very good team. It's just not as easy to see all these other facets of the game, and even the mental mindset and the experience and the team chemistry as far as playing together on the floor. This is a different team than we've had last year. So we're still working on getting all of our pieces meshing together. And so, I thought last night, and again, Mayflower, before the game, I know they're 3A and they're in a conference. You don't think that that's an automatic win because, in summer, they beat us actually 29-27 when we played them this summer. So, we know they're a really good quality team. But, when we come out and win 25-20 and 25-15, 25-18, that's just showing me that we're putting our good streaks, more of them, and we're limiting some of our errors and missed serves and just being in a defensive position to play some balls. And, we won some of those hustle points last night that we haven't been winning. But I think that's the mental mindset and the mental toughness is just, find a way to get the job done. And I feel like last night we're getting there. And I think that's why we were able to be successful last night.
Yeah, and Mayflower was a 3A team. I think a lot of people had circled. I mean, you can talk with other coaches. That's somebody people have had their eye on as far as one of the more interesting 3A teams around the state, as far as the best teams around the state and who they expect to make runs come state tournament time. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with a little bit more of Coach Jerry Fulmer for the rest of our coaches show after a word from our sponsor.
Looking for a fast and friendly pharmacy? ExpressRx offers free delivery, convenient drive-through, and personalized service. We are your hometown pharmacy. ExpressRx. Come in and experience the difference.
Farm Credit of Western Arkansas and Paris. Proud to support our farmers, families, and Friday night football. Rural lending, hometown strong.
When it's time for your next vehicle, shop local and drive with pride. You'll get more than a great car. You'll get hometown service and support from folks who know you by name. Paris Ford and Paris Chevrolet, proud supporters of the Paris Eagles.
At Union Bank, we're proud to invest in community. You'll see our logo or our team in every corner of our town because we're much more than just your bank. We're your friends and neighbors too. We're Union Bank, rooted in community and focused on you. Member FDIC.
Okay. All right, back with Coach Jerry Fulmer as we continue through our volleyball coaches show. Well, took a little while with that very difficult schedule to finally get that first win. I guess, you just had scheduled too small a team since it took a 6A opponent to finally, get your first win. And in any sport, but I think especially volleyball, size can be a little deceiving. You can see some bigger schools that aren't necessarily the best in volleyball, and then you can get some 2A schools like Hackett over the last several years that can beat just about anybody. And, of course, Paris ourselves over the last, decade plus have proved that 3A, I mean, that only means so much.
Well, that's one of the reasons why our schedule's like it is. I mean, I asked a few coaches, and they just didn't have room on their schedule for us this year. So, I don't know. Maybe they just really didn't have room on their schedule, but who knows?
So, still, I guess punching above the weight class, so to speak, as we go through the week, as you bring in another school from a bigger classification here on Thursday against Pottsville. Pottsville's been an interesting volleyball team over the last few years. They do have a win on the season against Russellville. So they are going to be an interesting opponent here coming in here later this week.
Yeah, one thing before I get to Pottsville, I meant to mention this a while ago, is I don't know if anybody saw our 7th grade game last night, but there was a couple of times that if you just watch our bench, the excitement that those girls had, a couple of times we just got a ball up and got it over the net, and they were cheering like crazy. They don't really understand about, the pass and the set and the head and everything, but they were just excited because they had got the ball over the net and somebody made a play. And, that excitement, I think maybe we've been feeling the pressure of trying to be too technical. And sometimes we got to bring that enthusiasm and fun back into the game here, make sure we don't lose that. And I think maybe we've been so focused and feeling the pressure off of last year and, our start this year with our opponents that, maybe we got to bring that back. And that excitement from the players, and I think maybe last night we did a little bit. We saw that too. But, talking about Pottsville, every coach I see says Pottsville's really good this year. I saw them earlier in the summer, and I feel like they're a lot better than what they were even this summer. And, one of the things that caught my attention was, they beat Hackett. They went 5 to Hackett earlier this year, and we know that they've got a good team, and their coach is really bringing that program around. And, I asked somebody a couple days ago, how long have they had volleyball there? And, this is like their 10th year. Yeah. So, they've had it around a little while, and so they're developing their program. And, when I schedule this, I'm thinking, okay, Pottsville will be good. They're 4A, but they haven't been as good. But holy moly, again, that's just the way things are going this year with their schedule. This is the best Pottsville team that they've ever had, this would be my guess. And, I'm looking forward to, especially after last night, can bring our consistency again against another bigger school.
That's one thing that we're all excited for. Obviously, we'll have the broadcast for you on Thursday for that one. And we would be remiss if we didn't bring up, we brought up the 7th grade, we bring up the junior high practicing here behind us. They had a little bit of a layoff in games, had a bit of a week break between Farmington. Now, they had, I would say, about as tough of a 2-game opening stretch as any team in the state, regardless of classification.
Junior high, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was brutal, opening here with Greenwood and then going on the road to Farmington. Dropped both of those contests against very, very good competition, and then got their first win here last night against Mayflower, and they have a big tournament coming up here this weekend. So talk about the junior high a little bit.
Well, I mean, junior high's in the same boat. These girls did not play very much last year because we had a big 9th grade group that's now sophomores. And so, the main group from this year was our 8th graders and played B team last year. But, they got a lot of experience. We like how they've been developing. This group has really worked super hard during the off season. Coach really put them through some tough workouts, and I really feel like that, when we were going through them, especially at the beginning, they didn't know how to handle the tough workouts, but, they hung in there. A couple leaders stepped up and said, all right, we're with you, Coach. We're going to do it, whatever you ask, and that's what they've done, and I really think we're seeing the benefits of it now. You're right. Greenwood and Farmington is 2 of the best junior high teams probably around here that we could schedule, and really battle-tested us. But, again, that's been our formula we played Greenwood right off the bat for several years now. And again, we do that because we want to start off the season playing good volleyball. And some years we get them and a lot of years we don't. And we didn't get either one of them, but I think they're making us a better team. And I think that showed last night when we played a Mayflower. We really, we were in control of the game at time, but again, junior high volleyball, it's easy to let it slip back, and they made a run towards the end.
Yeah.
But again, that situation, we put a stop to it. We ended up hanging on and winning it. I've seen teams in the past just completely fall apart there and not able to hang on and get that win. Well, this group did, and again, that's another situation to work on the mental toughness of the game. Things are going good, and then they're falling apart. Can you get it back together? And that's tough for any sports teams to do, but our girls got it back together last night and hung on and got the win. And so I feel like Pottsville's going to be another good challenge for them. And you're right, this weekend's tournament, Mina's always got a great team, and there's going to be some good teams here. And so I'm anxious to see how we can do against, get a few more games under belt and see if we're continuing to improve.
Well, I guess the last thing I have for you, Coach, it's a volleyball coaches show, but we tend to replay this. I'm sure our good friend Jamie Varnell will replay this before the football coaches show tomorrow. From the dig, there is a football game I want to ask about, Paris and Boonville on Friday. That's one that's always a big deal around here for good reason. You have any thoughts on Friday's football game?
all you have to say is Paris and Boonville, okay? That everything else is out the window. No, whatever you've done in the past or the summer or workout, I mean, it's always Paris against Boonville is just a battle. I guess that's the way to describe Paris Boonville football as a battle. And it's been that way ever since I come here in 1990. That was the battle game. That was a rivalry game back then, and people had talked about it for years before that. So there's a long tradition of Paris and Boonville, and maybe these kids here don't understand it, but people my age, it really means something to them. And so, but it is great to see a community involvement in our kids and in our sports programs here. I mean, Paris, the involvement we have is just really super. And that's part of what makes this home right here. It's just so much passion for it. And football and sports and volleyball and basketball and baseball and softball. It's really fun to be a part of, and hope we can come out and just enjoy being a part of this rivalry and battle. And hopefully our boys can take care of business. And, I don't know. I'm so busy with volleyball, I can't keep up with what we do, much less Boonville football. I'm assuming Boonville football is still Boonville football. They've been great for years. But, Paris football is like, hey, we got it going on right now. We got a couple of good weeks behind us, and maybe we can take it to them and get a win against Boonville. That would be awesome.
Very well said, Coach. And, we hope for much the same. We hope for continued success for your volleyball program as the year continues on here. And that'll wrap it up for this week's Volleyball Coaches Show with head coach Jerry Fulmer. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Yep, thank you very much.
Does shelter insurance cover shiny red cars?
Yeah.
What about purple vans?
Also, yes.
Monster trucks?
What's going on, son?
From shiny red cars to purple minivans, you can count on Shelter's local agents to help you protect what matters most.
Warren Shoes, your home for Nike, New Balance, North Face, and UGG. Locally owned since 1949. Located in their iconic location on the square in downtown Paris.
Brendan Fields with Johnson Law Office in Paris and Clarksville handles wills, trusts, custody, adoptions, power of attorney, divorces, and personal injury cases. Call 479-847-3002.
Ameriprise Financial delivers financial solutions for today and tomorrow through a comprehensive and personalized financial planning approach built on a long-term relationship with a knowledgeable advisor. See Sieben Morgan & Associates in Paris or Ozark today. El Perion Mexican Restaurant, located on Highway 22 on the west side of Paris for the best in Mexican cuisine. Go see them today at El Perion Mexican Restaurant in Paris. Ron Trusty and Logan County Insurance have been in the same location for 40 years. Proud Paris alumni. Go see him for your auto, home, life, commercial, and bonds. That's Ron Trusty at Logan County Insurance in Paris.